First, thanks a lot for adjusting everyone's schedule today to accommodate the players. With today being election day, they have the day off from school, and so they asked last week if they could practice on Tuesday morning, and so we went ahead and practiced this morning. Got the week full going. So thanks for accommodating that and allowing them to have a little more rest between right now and tomorrow afternoon's practice, and time to heal their bodies up and everything. So, but very excited coming off of this past weekend's win at Mercer. We encountered exactly what we thought, a very, very talented young football team down there and a veteran coaching staff that has them playing very, very well. It was their homecoming. I thought that we came out ready to play. I thought we executed very, very well in all phases in the first half, and probably our best half offensively of the year, able to build a 28-10 halftime lead going into the locker room. And talked to the kids in the locker room that felt like we would be challenged in the second half. We were. Mercer came back, played very well, made some plays when they needed to, got themselves back in the ball game, and then in the end we were able to do a great job of stopping the 2-point conversion there. Devontae made a very acrobatic stop. We had pressure on the passer on the reverse pass from Justin Oxendine, and able to deny that attempt, which gave us a 2-point lead. And then our offense did a great job of finishing it off. We got the ball with 3:30 and some change left on the clock, and we're able to gain 3 first downs and run the clock out and not give the ball back to Mercer with a chance to do something there at the end. So pleased with the way we finished. Excited going into this week. Obviously, this is a big ball game for us. It's a big ball game for our alumni and fans. I told the players that homecoming is for the fans and alumni. It's not for the players. The only thing they need to focus on is Furman. But the Furman ball game, whether it's homecoming or not, is always a big ball game around here. It's a long-time rival. Maybe Mike could tell us, is it the longest standing rival in the SoCon?
Played every, yeah.
Right.
They've played every year since 1916, except for during
World War II. So obviously a tremendous amount of tradition in this ball game. I've heard about this ball game ever since I took the job from our alumni. Coach Fowler and I have talked about it. Coach Bobby Johnson and I have talked about it. So it's a big deal, I think, on both campuses. I do think that Furman is a much better ball club than their record, just like I think we are a much better ball club than our record. I think that they are very talented. They're the same group that won the SoCon for the most part from last year. I know they've got a couple of guys that they're playing without, but they've replaced them with very talented players in the meantime. So I expect them to come in here and be ready to play and play very, very well. I think it'll be a very competitive game. I think it'll be an exciting game for our fans. But we're excited about the opportunity, and we hope to play well enough to have a chance to win it there in the fourth quarter. So should be a great weekend for football. Should be great weather. Should be a little bit warmer than it was at Mercer the other night. So we won't have to worry about that. But should be a great weekend for everyone involved. So with that being said, any questions for me or Aaron Miller, our quarterback, or Devontae Delaney, the defensive player of the week in the SoCon this week?
Let's try to win the game Saturday in the first quarter instead of the fourth.
I'd love that, but they usually don't work that way. So,
Mike, what concerns you about Furman most? They've had a bunch of injuries.
They have, but their front seven's intact, and it's a good front seven. They've defended the run very, very well. Looking at them offensively, watch them against Coastal Carolina, watch them against the University of South Carolina. They moved the ball very, very well in both ball games, executed very well. I think the young freshman quarterback is playing better each week. I know they did not play particularly well this past weekend, but taking that away, I think he is improving with experience. And he's a dual threat guy, much like we've just got through facing each of the last 3 weeks. So I think they are, like I said, a much better team than what their record says they are.
Even though you did win the game, do you think there's still some things to clean up?
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
Can you talk about what those are?
Well, Shy Phillips who's going to be a very, very good player and is playing better and better each week. You know, he gave up the flea flicker there, which is, you know, something that you should not give up. And going back out on the field, we warned against getting in that set and trying to isolate the corners right there. And he just, you know, he bit on the run fake. But you know, obviously that was fortunately did not cost us the game. It's a great teachable moment for a freshman corner. And he was very bothered by it and has a lot of pride in the way he plays. So I think it'll be a great moment for him to learn from. Obviously, you take that away, and that was the big turning point in my mind because that gave them the momentum to get back into the ball game. And then, you know, the other thing is in the second half, really offensively, I felt like we stopped ourselves, whether it be a false start getting us behind the chains, or a negative play getting us behind the chains, or we missed a very makeable field goal there. But we just had different things where we got in our own way a little bit in the second half, which we did none of in the first half. And obviously the one turnover was significant because it came at a very bad time. But all those things being said, with the momentum dead against us, we made plays when we needed to at the end, so we're pleased with that.
Like the TV commentators made a couple of interesting observations and comments about the play of our team. One of them was that they said, let's look at the number of passing yards. And then they jokingly said, well, wait a minute, they don't throw the ball. And you had some extraneous comment about that. But the other one I thought was pretty telling was they were saying how deep our secondary plays, giving basically the 8 to 10 yard down and out is almost a given anytime they want to throw that against us.
Right.
Any feeling about that?
Well, I think that you got to know who you are and you got to know what you're playing. And it depends on what the coverage is. It depends on who you're covering, and it depends on what you're willing to give up and what you're wanting to take away. I think a lot of things go into things that happen on the field that can't be seen by a commentator or anybody in the stands. But obviously, our kids know our scheme and know our personnel very, very well. So I don't know that statement is completely accurate, but I don't really care either. So, and as for the passing yardage, last time I checked, we had over 500 yards total offense, which is pretty good on any weekend. So, I'm glad they're interested.
Mike Tice Carter came up big on kickoff
Huge.
coverage.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the impact he had and his progress this season?
Well, he had before the big hit, he had 3 tackles on kickoff coverage on Saturday. The first tackle pinned them inside the 20-yard line. He had another one that pinned them down deep, and of course the big one there on their best offensive threat, which forced a fumble. They recovered it, but I thought really impacted the game because the receiver went out of the game for the better part of 2 quarters. But I think it's it's an example of a kid that's doing what he's coached to do. He's playing with a lot of energy and intensity, and he's where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. And that's usually when big plays happen. Guys doing what they're supposed to do. Very happy for him. He's been chewed on a lot this year, so.
Delaney, I've watched you in August, and you've been chewed on a good bit too, right?
Yes, sir.
But what's been some of the biggest lessons you've learned this year? Because you've really improved as a football player.
One big lesson is taking everything in as a whole, and not just looking at the little things, just taking everything in at one time and getting a bigger picture. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
Very excited for Devontae too. I think he's done a good job at becoming a better fundamental football player this year, and that'll continue. Being as young as he is, I think he will continue to get better as he moves forward because he has a great work ethic and has a dedication to being a good player.
Aaron, for you, on the passing, every time you pitch the ball, I count that as a pass. Right? So to me, you're the leading passer in the history of Central football, okay? Despite what anybody else says. Now, I do hope you throw it more Saturday a little bit.
We'll see.
Michael, Jake and Cam Jackson both got banged up. Do you have any update?
We're day to day right now. We'll know before Saturday, so we'll see on both of them. The good thing is, I thought Jonathan Drogi, who had a good week of practice last week, came into some good things there on Saturday, and so with his, his continued emergence, that does give us a little bit of depth there. Anything else? Well, thanks a lot for being here and looking forward to this weekend. Should be a great weekend for football. Go Bulldogs.
Yeah.